What is a woman?
Do you struggle between telling the difference between a man and a woman?
Can a woman have a penis?
The world's most controversial question.
It's pretty obvious, it's pretty basic stuff, isn't it?
What is a woman as far as you're concerned?
Well, a woman is somebody like my mother who gives birth or has the capacity to give birth to children.
What is a woman?
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is, an adult human female. And what you're actually, asking when you ask that question is, I think, what's my approach and view about how we as a society grapple with a situation where people are questioning and wanting to change their gender, their identity.
Annalise Dodds, your Women's and General Equality Secretary, says women cannot have a penis. Another of your senior colleagues, Stella Creasy, says a woman can have a penis. Sir Keir, can we put this to bed? Who's right?
Well, look, Nick, let me take this head on because you challenged me on this last time. And let me be clear, for the vast majority of women, this is all about biology. And of course they don't have a penis. We all know that. And of course they need safe spaces, and we'll support that. I've been supporting that for many years. And of course we want more equality for women. Again, the Labour Party's been fighting that cause for a very, very, very long time. So for the vast majority of women, biology is what matters, and it's very clear they don't have a penis. But let's not leave out of account that there is a small minority of individuals who were born in a gender they don't now identify with. Some go through a process, others don't, and that is very traumatic for them. And I, for one, I'm going to respect and support them. And I think that's actually when most people step back from this. They think, well, that's a fair assessment, Keir. 99.9% probably of women, it's all biology. We must support them, safe spaces, more women's equality. But let's not pretend or disparage or fail to support a small group of people who actually struggle with their gender identity. And I think that we can resolve this if we all approach it in that spirit.
Look at Keir Starmer. He wouldn't answer the question, can a woman have a penis? Will you answer that question, Emily?
Sure. Let me put it this way. I know of a woman who was called Doski Assad, and she lived in the Kurdish region of Iraq. She was 23. She was a makeup artist, hugely in demand at weddings, getting brides ready and so on. And one day, earlier this year, one of her brothers tracked her down to her salon, and he kidnapped her, and he tied her up, and he shot her in the head and the chest because he said that she had brought shame on the family because she had been born a man. Now, I don't know whether biologically she was a woman. I know that she had biologically she had a body of a man, and I presume that there are not a lot of facilities available to whether or not she'd had whatever operations were necessary. I don't think that legally she would have necessarily been defined as a woman. But I think that we should start thinking about people and stop hiding behind some of these slightly silly arguments.
Do you struggle between telling the difference between a man and a woman?
I think a woman is a female-born adult. I do think there are people who are born in one gender and feel they belong in the other, and my heart goes out to them. And they're on a journey, perhaps, to make a change. But I just think this debate is so hot and full of hatred that we can't have a sensible discussion about it.
Where's the hatred coming from?
It comes from people who strongly feel that there is no such thing as sex and only gender. And on the other side, from people who want to provoke an argument in order to get away from the issues that are really troubling people.
When someone asks me what defines a woman, well, I'll say somebody who earns less money for doing the same job, who still does the vast majority of care at home, and who still faces barriers to success in their lives. And those issues are as true today as they ever were. And I'm sort of uncompromising about that. But I also support, it's a very small number of people, but there is a small number of people who feel that they've been born into the wrong body and whose whole life is defined by that and are often very abused and are subject to a huge amount of abuse and anxiety and mental health stress. And I've got a number of constituents that I've supported over the years, and I support them in their right to be who they want to be.
Are trans women women?
Well, that was a great. I mean, I don't think biologically they are. I think you can call them what you will, but biologically they clearly aren't.
And so that's why, when it comes to these questions, biological sex matters. Now that we can and will have compassion and tolerance and understanding for everybody who is thinking about transitioning and changing their identity and gender. But for me, when it comes to whether it's sex, whether it's women's spaces, whether it's prisons, biological sex really matters.
I'm glad you've said what a woman is, because a lot of people will be thinking, why can't we say what it is anymore?